These are the essential moves for bodyweight strength and skill that will turn you into a legend of epic ninja levels. You see, I got an email recently from a guy, 55, martial artist, 5'8", 195, trending downwards, but a smart guy. Good question. He wanted to know, what are the essential moves, the practical ones? He could see the value of a muscle up, pulling yourself up over a wall, out of a pit, but human flags, flips, he wasn't so sure. Can you show me a list of bodyweight exercises you consider vital must-haves for pretty much every person, regardless of occupation or hobby interests, as opposed to moves that have little or no value for the average Joe? Solid question, and I answered it, but here's what the question actually revealed. And I don't say this to pick on Dave. I say this because it's one of the most common ways that people get stuck. The question itself is a symptom of a bigger problem. And that problem is this. At some point, most people stop moving and start managing. They manage their time. They manage their training. They manage the risk. They keep only what seems immediately useful and cut out everything else. And slowly, so slowly they don't even notice, they forget how to move. Every single move, including human flags and flips, all those that I'm going to discuss, every sequence, every level is part of the bigger matrix of human development that stopped happening. Human flags, massive trunk and core stability, oblique strength, preventative and rehabilitative for overcoming back pain. Backflips, 2 to 3 times bodyweight landings, 2 to 3 times bodyweight reverse crunch resisting centrifugal force. And then there's the 10 to 20 scaffold moves that build towards those pinnacle moves. And the neuroplasticity from learning and acquiring new strength and skill as a lifelong pursuit. That's literally rewiring your brain and body from the inside out, keeping you strong and agile and young. Now, there are 3 kinds of people I see this happen to, and they look completely different from the outside, but they're all dealing with the same thing. The first is the entrepreneur or the professional. 12, 14, 16 hours a day on a screen, building something, running something, optimizing everything. I've even seen it in the people in the so-called fitness space, guys talking about training all day, selling training programs, and they're running on caffeine and nicotine and haven't actually trained properly in years. They're giving advice they're not taking. Their body gets whatever's left over at the end of the day, which is sometimes nothing. And what they don't realize is that the physical training isn't separate from the high performance they're pursuing. It is the performance. Your brain runs on your body. You cannot separate them. The second is the average person who just drifted away. They used to be athletic. Maybe it was a sport, maybe martial arts, maybe just being young and physical and free. And then life happened, the career, the family, obligations, and the movement that got replaced. By good things, sure, but it did get replaced. And now they're asking questions like, just like Dave's, which moves are essential? Which ones are actually worth it? Because they've already started rationing. And that rationing mentality, what's practical, what's efficient, what's strictly necessary. That's the mindset that leads to a 55-year-old who can't do a pull-up and wonders if he ever even has. The third is the specialized athlete or even the Olympian. You'd think this person has it figured out. And in one lane, they do. But when you confine yourself to one paradigm of movement, one sport, one discipline, one way of loading and moving your body, the body starts to pay for it. The things that sport doesn't train become your weak links. The ranges of motion that sport never asks for become tight. The movement that sport never demands, well, that becomes forgotten. And I'm not talking hypothetically. We have a student right now, Emma. She's an up-and-coming Olympian, acrobatic swimmer. She does launches, contortion, elite level movement in her lane. She's been training with us for 2 years. Why? Because even at that level, maybe especially at that level, you cannot afford to forget how to move. You have to keep building strength and flexibility and mobility in the places your sport leaves empty. Otherwise, the sport consumes you. Darren is another example. He was a former professional basketball player. 50 years old when he came to us. He was high performance in his sport for years. And when he got here, tight shoulders, stiff hips, immobile knees, underdeveloped core. Now he's doing muscle ups, front levers, human flags, and even Kong vaults, which was a big deal and out of his comfort zone. Not because those moves are practical, because building or rebuilding complete omnidirectional movement is what gives people their bodies back. Now, back to Dave's question, okay? And the pull-up. Here's the interesting thing. I didn't learn pull-ups when I was growing up. I had no pull-up bar. What I had was handstands, breakdancing, acrobatics, tumbling, martial arts, all pushing strength, all body weight, all skill. And when I eventually got to pull-ups, they came really easily because my lats had been trained as stabilizers for years. My body was conditioned down to the nervous system in ways a bar and a rep scheme could really never have done. The point isn't that pull-ups aren't valuable, they are. But your pursuit of any single movement, no matter how practical, will be faster and better and safer if your whole body is moving well in all directions. That's not flash, that's foundation. A back walkover, in my opinion, is more advanced than a pull-up. It's even healthier for you, more beneficial, and it opens the door to back handsprings, hollow back handstands, and a powerful spine and shoulders, stronger deadlifts, 10 to 20 moves that pull you towards the pull-up while you're not even aiming at it directly. The people who ask, what's the minimum I need, are the people who stay stuck the longest, because the minimum doesn't build the body you actually want. It manages the one you already have. And managing, that's not training. Here's what I need you to understand about movement. Nobody teaches a child how to run, jump, swing, hang, climb, and roll. They just do it. They put it all together instinctively as independent human movers. And then school happens, then a job, then a career, and you get confined to the parameters other people build around you. Your movement becomes a to-do list. Yoga on Tuesday, cardio on Thursday, the weights on Friday. Compartmentalized, labeled, it's boxed in. And everything that was once natural starts to feel optional. Cartwheels, optional. Flips, optional. Climbing, optional. Doing rolls, optional. Until you forget you were ever able to do those things in the first place. Until your body forgets too. And that forgetting has a cost. The more movement you eliminate, the more weak links you accumulate. And weak links don't just affect your training, they affect everything. Your back, your joints, your energy, your ability to just live well in a body for the next 30 or 40 years. Matt came to us at 47. He's a director of set design, father. He had a broken vertebrae from a car accident, bulging discs, back pain, all this stuff, reduced flexibility, strength, and mobility. In his first 16-week block, he got to very little, zero even, back pain. V-stand, press handstand, bent arm planche, stalled or hold. He even was working on front flips and gaining sustainability. Not because we gave him the minimum. See, that's the key. Because we rebuilt everything. Justin, military background, multiple injuries, ankle issues, shoulder separation, motorcycle accident that actually nearly killed him. 16 weeks in, L stands, handstands, vaults, and he had significant pain reduction and daily freedom. These people didn't get their bodies back by rationing movement. They got them back by expanding it. So here's what I want to leave you with. Whether you haven't been truly athletic in years, or you're training daily in a specialized discipline, or you're somewhere in between, do not let yourself forget how to move. Because a body that moves well in all directions is a body that lasts. It's a body that heals. It's a body that can do the thing you actually care about, whatever that is, for a lot longer than one that only knows one lane. Look, you're not a machine built for one function. You're a human being, and human beings are designed for omnidirectional, synergistic, lifelong movement. Don't give that up, and don't manage it. Train it. And if you want to actually do this, use the link below. Book a free assessment with me and my team. We'll look at where you are, where your weak links are, and what your path to complete body mastery looks like. It doesn't matter if you're 30 or 55, if you've never had a pull-up, or if you're heading to the Olympics. The movement is still there. Don't forget it. See you in the next video and in training soon.